Yes, my name is Drew Barker, and this is Elizabeth Toby, and we are representing the project entitled, what you just heard, Revisiting Segregation Through Computational History, the case of the World War II Japanese American Tule Lake Segregation Center. And it was done in partnership with the College of Journalism, Maryland's iSchool, and hosted at the newly formed Digital Curation and Innovation Center, which you see pictures of to the left there in those sepia tone photos. That's us actually working in this small little room up in Hornbeck, on the 4th floor of Hornbeck. But I want to draw your attention to the photo on the right now, because this was the inspiration for this project. That is an image found in the National Archives by our advisor and professor, Richard Marciano. And he discovered these for himself, and they are incident cards from the Tule Lake concentration camp site in Northern California during World War II. Created by the officials and the police there in the camp of alleged incidents that happened during the incarceration of the inmates there. These are very fraught documents because of privacy concerns, but also because of the circumstances under which they were created, which infringed upon American citizens' constitutional rights. Now, we wanted those cards scanned. We were not able to get those. However, they are about to be scanned, and there is a total of 25,563 incident cards with metadata, names, which include names, locations, and descriptions of other things. Now, what's really amazing though, because I'm going to be talking about what we proposed, what we did, and what we're going to do. What we proposed had to be kind of put on the back burner, but it became something larger because we were able to reforge and rejuvenate a partnership between Maryland's iSchool and the National Archives and Records Administration, where we were able to fast track this project. They have scanned, with our help and with some of our funds, they were able to scan with optical character recognition, or OCR, and now they are presently indexing those cards for future work. So it is a huge data set. You can think that we're about to get in the future though. And so I've described a little bit about what we proposed. I'm going to talk about what we did. At the end of last semester, we originally proposed, of course, though, that we seek to investigate the integration of archival media by proposing to prototype an interface that links people, places, events from distributed sources related to the Tule Lake concentration camp site. And so now, we have 5 priorities from the FIA that we addressed, which includes transparency, privacy, culture, collaboration, and information transfer. Here is a fantastic slide that shows how many people we were able to pull in on this project, whether they're partners or advisors. Starting in the top left-hand corner, we had the National Park Service, because this was a new national park site created officially only in 2008, which means that it started getting more press, more funding. This is a kind of data set that's going to be very, very important to this site later. We were able to work with Scott Madry with QGIS, which is Geographic Information Systems. This project was used as a case study in a policy issue class in the iSchool. We were advised from King's College of London. Our other second partners, of course, the National Archives, including all those lovely people that helped us. Going down to the left corner, the Digital Curation, the DCIC, Digital Curation Innovation Center, was fantastic. We were also advised by Barbara Takei, who wrote a book on the Tule Lake Revisited. We were also advised by the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum, specifically Michael Haley Goldman. And we were also advised by the venerable Dr. Satsuki Ina, who just screened her film this past Monday here on campus, and it was a fantastic experience. So without this funding, without this opportunity, all of these people wouldn't have been brought together. The momentum for this project, the momentum and impetus for these kinds of partnerships would not have happened, and so that is very, very exciting. And so here's a really quick overview of all the students that were involved, and all the specific resources that we looked into as we tried to wait for the cards to be scanned. And so we're going to drill down into all these different little projects right now to show you what we did. And I'm going to start with myself. I was able to look at the maps, and this is only one layer that you see in front of you. And one of the things that I did, I labeled and connected over 2,200 vector points in QGIS in order to better identify wards, blocks, and barracks where over 18,700 people were imprisoned. Now, this provides a unique data set for visual map layers in the future. So this is one of the 2 unique data sets that we were able to create because of this project. And so, for example, the purple rectangles that you see, those were all barracks that had 3 to 4 apartments, which means 3 to 4 families living in them. The quarters were cramped. It was not. It was kind of. It was degradation in a massive scale. So this is a very, very large map, and I'm going to turn it over to Liz to talk about others.
And as Drew mentioned, because we didn't have access to the cards, we decided to look for other digital artifacts that were already online in archival and library collections that we could try to connect to physical places on the map. Keep in mind that some of the sources that we were able to find were artifacts that were produced by the War Relocation Authority, the federal agency that actually ran the camps. So, and some of these materials were actually used as propaganda. So we also realized we needed to be careful about how we framed these objects. I worked mainly with newsletters and yearbooks, the camp newsletter, the Tule Dispatch Daily, and also the online yearbook of the Tule Lake High School. And on the left, you'll notice that this is a detail of an article about church services that took place at the camp. And you'll notice the red box around the number 4608. This indicates where this high school fellowship meeting was held on at the camp in area in block 46, section 8. And then on the right-hand side is the front page of an issue of the Tule Dispatch from 1943, announcing the designation of the Tule Lake camp as a segregation center for those Japanese American prisoners who were considered by the federal government disloyal. And it mentions the plans to build a jail, which is also something that we can connect directly to the map. James Howland worked with looking for photographs online. The photographs he looked at were mainly from the JARDA archive, which stands for Japanese American Relocation Digital Archive, which is hosted by the Bancroft Library at University of California, Berkeley. And James looked mainly for photographs of individuals engaged in work in the camp, like Dr. Tarot, and also events such as the arrival of prisoners to the camp. Emily Keithley worked with oral histories, video interviews with survivors on the website of the Densho Foundation. Yep. Karen Maudsley worked with photographs of some of the incident cards as well as government documents. And this is a slide that shows how we envisioned connecting the artifacts to points on the map. This shows the hospital area on the camp map, and both of these documents relate to the administration building on the map.
So really quickly, we also had a graduate student who worked with archive maps, which is basically a graph database, similar to what other social media sites use like Facebook and LinkedIn, in order to map where families were and when they were at different places. And so in the future, what we want to do, we've proposed, two professors have proposed another future grant in order to expand the work we've already done, which includes using those incident cards, figuring out how to best use those and link those to a map with other linked media. And also, of course, in the future, we're going to encourage more interactions with stakeholders, scholars, and historians, which will be developed. But most importantly, to bring in those stakeholders, to bring in those other people who have families there, and so that we can really tell the stories of these people whose constitutional rights were violated during a moment of national crisis, so that it perhaps maybe will never happen again. Thank you very much.